Hey, Trending Topics, this is Miss Corey. Welcome to the Unit 2 by a Summative worksheet. So, step number 1, here is a list of all of your names. So you're going to want to click on that. There you'll see a giant list of names. Surprise, surprise, you'll find your name on here as well. If you don't find your name, let me know right away and I'll assign you a news source. And then you'll see next to your name that there are different kinds of news sources that you are assigned to. So, for example, if I am Adrian, I was assigned ABC News. All right, so you must only use that news source for this project. So, whatever one you were assigned, you have to use that one. Then you will click on your news source link next to your name. This will bring you to the homepage of your news source. You are going to choose one news article from your news source, and the news article must be at least 6 months old or newer. So, for example, if I'm Adrian, I'm going to click on ABC News, and then I'm going to find a news source that I want to choose. Step 3. Below is a box that says My News Source. In the box, you're going to type the news source that was assigned to you. So again, if I was Adrian, I would put down ABC News. Then, in this box here, you're going to put the name of article number 1 and also a link to the article, so I have access to the article. Over here, you're going to type a 2 to 3 sentence summary of your news article in your own words. And you're going to name at least one aspect of this article that a viewer or reader could see as a positive bias to the news story. And then over here, you're going to name at least one aspect of this article that a viewer or reader could see as a negative bias to the news story. I know you might have to think kind of hard about it and really be like, well, if I was someone else, would I think this is a positive thing or would I think this is a negative thing? So you kind of have to think outside the box a little bit. If you need help with that, just let me know. I can certainly help you. I also have an example that I'll show you in just a little bit. And then step number 5 is to determine whether your news article has more of a positive or negative biases. So this kind of gets a little tricky. Students usually are pretty good at navigating this step though, but do pay very close attention to this. So whatever news article that you chose, if you think your news article has a more negative news bias, you're going to complete steps 6, 7, and 8. And you're going to completely ignore steps 9, 10, and 11. Now, on the flip side of that, if you think your news article has more positive news biases, you're going to complete steps 9, 10, and 11 and completely ignore steps 6, 7, and 8. So again, choose if your news article is either negative or positive, and then go to the corresponding steps that I tell you to go to after that. All right. So if you think your article is negative, you are going to flip the tone of your news article. So you're going to make an originally negative story into a positive news story. And to do that, you're going to take any positive aspect from that news story and just focus on those positives. So for example, if your news article is about a player of the Green Bay Packers getting injured, don't focus on the tragedy of the injury. Focus on how easy the opposing team is going to win against the Green Bay Packers in the next game. Or if your news article is about how educators are quitting their jobs at record number, focus on the aspects of why educators should keep their jobs. Again, get creative with your ideas. Then you're going to open up Canvas and use one of the newspaper templates, which I have linked here. You're going to choose any of the templates on that link that you want to use. And for that template, you must include the following information for your new negative to positive biases news article. So you need the date of your news story and when it happened, a new title for your negative to positive news story, a picture corresponding to your news article, and it can be the same picture as is on the original news article, or it could be something different. Just make sure you include a description of what is shown in the picture and also the website that you got the picture from. And then you're going to give me just a 3 to 4 sentence summary of the news article using positive biases and aspects. And if you need help thinking of positive words, here is an awesome Indeed website that has lots and lots of positive words. Then for step 8, once you're done with your Canva news article, you're going to copy and paste your Canva news article in the box below. And you can do this one of 2 ways. The first way, you can just download your newspaper from Canva into either a JPEG or PNG file. Just note that a PDF file will not work for this assignment, so do not do PDF. And then if you need help downloading a file, you can watch that video. Or the second way is to share the Canva newspaper with me directly. And if you need help of how to share a Canva link, you can watch this video here. And then you just submit it right here. All right, now going back to our original step 5 up here. So if you think that your news article is more positive news biases, you're going to skip down to step 9. So it's going to be a very similar concept to thinking if your article is negative. Again, you're just going to flip the tone of your news article to make an originally positive story into now a negative news story. And to do that, you are going to take any negative aspects from the news story and just focus on those negatives. So, for example, if your news article is about a new free community gym opening up in Chicago, you could talk about how much the gym cost to build and that money could have been spent somewhere else. Or if your news article is about a herd of goats eating invasive species in local parks, you could talk about the feces they leave behind and the distraction it is to park goers. Again, get creative with your ideas. Then you are going to open up the Canva newspaper template link, choose a template you want, choose any of those in this link here. And then you're going to have to include in your rewritten positive to negative biases news article the date of your news story, when it happened or published, a new title for your positive to negative news article, a picture corresponding to your news article. Again, it can be the same as what's in the original news article. Just make sure that you include a description of what is shown and what website you got the picture from. And then a 3 to 4 sentence summary of the news article using negative biases and aspects. And if you have a hard time thinking of negative words, here is a nice list of negative words. All right. And then again, same thing for submitting on this one. Once you're done with your Canva news article, you're going to copy and paste the Canva news article into the box below. You can do this one of 2 ways. Again, you can either download the whole Canva, again, in a JPEG or PNG file. Don't do a PDF file. Or you can share the Canva directly with me and have the share link and just paste it into that box there. All right, step 12, make sure all the boxes are filled out for this worksheet, and then you can submit it to Schoology. And here are some of my tips. So, did you pick an article, but you can't find both positive and negative aspects about the news story? Feel free to choose another article or ask me for help. I'm here to help you. Be creative on what aspects of the news article you can spin as positive or negative. Look for the big and small details about the news article. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please, seriously, I'm here to help you. Please let me know. And the news source you are assigned to may not be a news source you prefer. But don't worry, this assignment is supposed to get you out of your comfort zone a teeny tiny bit by looking at news sources that you may or may not always look at. The point of this assignment is for you to take news articles and flip the narratives and biases from positive to negative and negative to positive to show you how easily journalists can change the narratives by adding and biased wording, interviews, and opinions. And when it comes to flipping the tone of a news story, just be mindful of who or what you're now presenting as the quote unquote bad guys. Remember, don't bully or use hate speech against a person and a group of people. Then here you'll also have the link to my example. So I literally go through an example that I did, was this last year? And you can take a look at what I did. So I took a otherwise negative article and I flipped it into a positive article about like healthcare in urban and rural areas. I know sometimes examples really help for students, so that's why I like doing that. All right. There we go. If you have any questions at all, please, please, please let me know. I am more than happy to help you out, especially if you haven't used Canva before. Just let me know. I can certainly help you. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.